Hello and welcome back to Pug News Mini. In this episode we have a special interview with Emperor SpikeViper about the new Vuperian stock system to help clarify some things to those who might be confused. Welcome to the show, Spike.
Oh, thanks for having me. You're a very well-known newscaster.
How does the new stock system work for people who want to get into the stock system?
Unlike the old stock system, the new stock system is realistic. It uses a trading queue. So you get to set a buy or sell price, which is called a bid or ask. And then when the buy is greater or equal to the sell, a trade goes through. So basically, this puts all of the power into the trader. They can set, for example, let's say the price is $50, but they don't want to spend that much. Well, they can choose to buy however many at $30, and once the price drops to $30, it'll automatically buy it. So you don't have to buy at the market rate, and you can actually set things to happen in the future.
What do you think your future plans for the stock market are going to be?
Quality of life improvements are important. Like actually just a few minutes ago, I made it so that if you click on the prices in the order queue, it'll set it in the price box. I mean, quality of life's always important because, the easier it is, the less frustrating it is to people. And then, I don't really know. Honestly, other than a few tiny bugs that are just cosmetic, I think it's pretty well made at this point. I will probably put a log for trades that show the trades that are occurring, but I think, honestly, it's almost at like the point of a professional stock trading platform. It even has volume. We don't have much volume yet, but you can at least see it when it is happening. Yeah.
What made you want to overhaul the stock system?
Well, there were a few problems with the old one. The math was kind of off. Now, I made it work because the price was directly tied to the value of the company, and when you bought stocks, it put money directly into the company. There were a lot of unintended consequences. Like, for example, to get the price, the server couldn't just multiply one by the other because each stock bought raises the price. So it actually had to use an algorithm where it found the price and then found the price if you bought one more stock, and it'd have to keep doing that. So if you bought like 10,000 stocks, the server had to do like this complex system thousands of times to figure out the price. And well, that's not going to kill the server because it's meant for millions of calculations per second. It's just inefficient. And at the same time, things like being able to set, sell price, buy price, and stuff, that just should be there. In the old system, that wasn't possible.
How do you think the stock update's going to affect Nerd?
I think it's going to make the companies in Nerdcraft a lot more viable. I think that a stock update like this is going to make things like raising capital very easy. Before, you couldn't really raise capital by selling stock because the stock would be bought, it would risk you losing your company to being honked. And this, the companies actually get to start owning the majority of the stock, and when they sell the stock, they are not losing money from the stock leaving themselves. They're actually gaining money from people buying the orders. So, for example, VNB currently is holding about 185,000 stocks. But if I wanted to raise $100,000 real quickly, all I'd have to do is put a few thousand stocks on the market at a reasonable price, and people will buy it.
Okay, this question comes from Ningzhang. Is the economy crashable?
Well, like any economy that functions off of the outlook that people have, it's not actually tied to anything. Any stock can crash rapidly from people freaking out and selling. But one of the things is that if the economy crashes, since it's such a small community of people doing stock trading, someone is going to get rich off of it. I mean, because someone is getting a ton of stock super cheap if the economy crashes, and someone is getting all of their orders fulfilled. So it's never a one-way street. When the stocks crash, someone gets a ton of really cheap stock, and so I wouldn't say that it would be like a permanent issue. Unlike the real world, we don't have a ton of contracts and debt tied up all over the place. It's just pretty simple, straightforward economy right now. With Nerdcraft, things will get a little bit more complicated, and especially with shareholder voting, but we'll see how that goes.
What do you think shareholder voting would add to the economy?
It's going to hold CEOs and board members accountable and give stocks a few more tools. So in the real world, there's something called a reverse split, where you can get every so many stocks and merge them together into one to raise the price. And there's also the normal split, where you split every stock into multiple stocks. But these things you can only do if the majority of shareholders agree on it, because obviously, well, tweaking the price like that is controversial at best. And also things like board members, I feel like right now a lot of board members are put to the top of companies because of friendships and not because of business practices. And so in the future, if a board member of a company is doing poorly and they have less than half of the votes in a company, they will be able to be voted out of the company, or at least out of their position.
Thank you for joining us, Spike.
No problem. I'll be back again when you call me next.